guys, let's get right into it. So, unfortunately, I think we are going to get a deterioration of Issa, right? Not Issa. Issa and Molly's relationship, and it's so cringeworthy. Like, I don't want to see it, because if anybody who's had like girlfriend relationships knows that it's just triggering. You hate when a good girlfriend relationship falls apart, because it's a lot like a divorce, because you share so much with this person, and it's guys, this is going to get emotional. It's going to get so emotional. Like this first episode, just watching them just so quickly. How many episodes are we getting this season? Because they quickly started to fall apart. Even when it started off with Issa saying that she doesn't, rock with Issa saying that she doesn't rock with her anymore. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking we're going to get something later in the season, but right off the bat, episode 1, we saw these two start to crumble in. Baby, are we ready? Are we ready for this? It's going to be triggering, ladies. This is going to be triggering. Because I already started thinking of, like, one of my good girlfriend relationships back in the day that, like, fell apart. And I was like, this is how it started. This is how it started. One was just a hater. And it's like, man. It's okay to miss them, too. It's okay to miss some of those good times. Because, like, regardless, even if y'all, like, not, rocking with each other, y'all had good times. But I was watching them like, dang. I know who my Molly is. Who's your Molly? Let's talk about it. Speaking of Molly, her fashions, her looks this season, upgrade. She looks really great. I always felt like she was doing like a soft Maxine Shaw in the previous season. This season, I feel like she's coming into her own. Like this wig with like the little blonde highlights and this corset that she was wearing with the high waist jeans. She looked good. I was like, where's that corset from? Okay, can they get these girls in there? But it looked really good. All of her fashions this episode looked really, really good. I don't know why her fashions were upgraded this season, but they did a great job. I noticed. And her wigs, everything looks really, really good. Because with this show, everything means something. So I'm like, is there a message behind Molly's upgrade? Asian Bae cut his hair. No. With this show, right? Because it's so much beautiful blackness, like my whole family watches it. And I keep on forgetting that this show was on HBO. But my God, today, I was not ready for this scene with Issa and TSA Bae. Like, oh my God, guys, I don't know how they did this scene. I was just like, both of y'all had to be really comfortable, because y'all were butt naked. There was no way where like stuff was covered, or, sometimes you can see like little genital patches. They were butt naked. My God, today. I wasn't ready, especially when I'm watching this show with my mama. I just wasn't ready. TSA Bae, I like him for her. I think the guy's a stand-up because he's just naturally funny. Like, you don't get a lot of actors who are naturally funny like that, except for me. Yes. But I do feel like he was a stand-up, because I don't get actor from him. I get stand-up. From him. So I feel like he is a stand-up comedian, but I think it was a great choice. He's very supportive of her. Just watching him, be the dedicated security at the front of her, community event. I love that. I mean, listen, he's no Lawrence. He's definitely not some guy that she would just go after, if she was not going through a little something, right? But sometimes the one that you think is not right for you is the perfect fit. And maybe he's a perfect fit for this season. But either way, I like him for her. I really, really do. I think that it's, a low stakes relationship. So she's not in her head a lot. She's allowing herself to just exist, and have a good time. I just love how supportive he is of her in his own little way. You know what I mean? He's not the ideal guy, but he's good for her. He reminds me of, remember in Sex and the City, Charlotte, when she was dating the Jewish lawyer, and everybody was just like, what are you doing with this guy? But she was so happy with him. Nobody could see them two together, but she was so happy with this guy. And that's what I get with TSA Bae. He gives me fun, cute, cuddly guy. Habia. He's Habia for right now. Maybe, he might go a little further than that. Who knows? But for right now, she's happy, and I like him for her. I like him keeping her happy and just supporting her, and not, she doesn't have to give out so much for him. He doesn't require a lot of mental gymnastics that she had to go through in her previous relationships. I like him. I like TSA Bay. I like welcome to being with a full figure nigga. I was like, oh, I like him for her. What do you guys think of TSA Bay concerning Issa? Like, what do you think? Like, do you think that she's using him? Do you think that, you know, this is just like a get by guy, or do you think that this might be the real deal? I think for her, she's thinking he's the right now, but she just might end up getting caught by TSA Bay. And I wouldn't mind it. He's a good catch. I said this before last season, or like 2 years ago, when I was reviewing this show. I love that so many moments in this show like matter. Like this scene where Issa was returning stuff, you know, that she had just wore, and she was about to bring another bag back of stuff that she had just wore. Listen, I felt seen. You know what I mean? And not everybody got the coin like that. And I just love that the lady was just like, we can't keep on doing this. Listen, I've had that conversation at a Gap once or twice, you know, but you don't have it all the time, but you might need it for this one event. I felt seen. And I love that, especially the Issa's neighbor. When she was asking her if Issa's brother was single, and she was just like, yeah, he is, but he's gay. And she was like, so is my son's father. That don't mean nothing. The supporting characters in this show, they come in like in and out, maybe for 1 or 2 lines, but their lines kill every time that you don't forget about it. I'm still waiting for her neighbor, the blood, to show up. Like, he's so funny. And now I'm seeing him in other stuff. He's getting booked and busy. I'm hoping that the same thing happens for Issa's new neighbor, this girl. We need variety. I like her. I want to see more from her. So I'm hoping that, you know, she gets the same kind of come up from this, because she came in, she had, guys, at the max, 6 lines, killed every one of them. So, Tiffany, Issa, she's a bad friend. I just feel like she just got to cut this girl and be done with her. I think she probably stays connected to Tiffany for 2 reasons. Tiffany's connected. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard, especially when you're that struggling friend, to cut the friend who's doing well and has connections, even though you know that this friend will, if they recommend you for something, they won't let you forget that they recommended you for that. And if you end up working at the same job as them, they'll continue to have you under their thumb as their little lackey. But if you're this friend in need, you don't want to let this friendship go, because it's better to have something than nothing. I think that's one reason why she keeps her around. I also think she keeps Tiffany around. She stays in a friendship with Tiffany. All the girls do, because of history. They've been friends for a very long time. Maybe Tiffany was a little bit better when she was in college or whatever, but now that you guys are getting older, she's just getting worse. She's just getting worse, because for Tiffany to know that her coworker is currently dating Issa's ex of 5 years, and for it to come out in a way where she's just like, oh, okay, now we all know everything's fine. It's good, and walk away. She did that because she knew what she did was wrong. And she wanted to get that like blame off of her and like try to really quickly make it okay and then get out of there so that she can't be held accountable for her wrongdoings. And I think that Issa continues to remain friends with her, because it's just like, oh, but we've been friends for 15 years. That happens so many times. You probably are even thinking of a friend right now where you're just like, I'm friends with her because she lived across the street from me and we just grew up together, but she's not a good person. And that's what Tiffany is. She's history. It's a history friendship. You have so many years with this person. She's also connected, but she's a terrible person. She's that terrible friend. And it's like, do I cut this and have to deal with the awkwardness of seeing her at things because our lives are so entwined? Or do I stay in this toxic friendship and just continue to deny how terrible this person is to me? Because Tiffany's terrible. Tiffany's terrible. Molly has her moments, but Tiffany, she has no redeeming qualities. Not a one. What Issa is currently going through with this girl, is her name Cordova? What is this girl's name? Corona? I forgot that chick's name, but I'll get it. I'll get it as the season goes on. This is why I don't date anybody in Philadelphia. I'm from Philly, right? Philly is huge, right? So is my family. Everybody's either a family member or an ex of a family member or a friend or cousin. I don't do it because it's just way too small. And this situation magnifies that for me. I'm like, this is why I'll date a dude from the tri-state area, excluding Philadelphia, excluding probably all of Pennsylvania, even Pittsburgh. My God, Pittsburgh, never. Here we have this situation where two really good, men ruin everything. Because this could have been a really good girlfriend relationship, but it's ruined. There's no way that these two can be friends. This girl is currently dating Issa's ex of 5 years. 5 years. That's longer than some marriages. There's no way that these two can remain friends, especially when she's falling really hard for Lawrence. Not only are they dating, they are sexing, okay? So now it's way too complicated. And it's really disappointing because these two could have been really, really good friends, but there's nowhere it can go now. And I feel like if they continue to work together, some woman jealousy is going to start building up, and then they're going to end up being great enemies when they could have been great friends. Men really ruin everything. Everything. So let's get into Molly this episode. Molly is a self-sabotager. It's so unfortunate. Like, she just, any situation that could be good for her, she sees the worst in it and she just destroys it, even when it's not there. I feel like she just imagines situations and it's just like, okay, well, this could happen, so I'm not even going to entertain it. Because Asian Babe obviously really likes her, right? From the get-go, you were playing hard to get. You were acting like you two were just friends. You didn't really want anything. He was coming after you hard. You were denying him, right? So now you guys are finally getting into the mix where you are now accepting a kiss from him and, going out on dates with him. Wearing a freaking corset to a bowling alley. You know what you're doing, Ma. You know what you're doing, right? So now you're at this point where you're starting to feel something for the guy. But now you've fallen so hard and he don't even know. You know it, but you won't admit it. So instead of admitting that you really like him and you want this to actually be a relationship, you just start being mean to him. Because while they're riding over to Issa's community event, he, reveals that he's dating other people. But how Molly is acting, it makes sense. You from the beginning were acting like you weren't really into him. So why would he stop dating other people to start dating this girl who wasn't really into him and now is finally starting to warm up? You think he's going to stop dating the sure thing to start seriously dating the unsure thing? That doesn't make any sense. And she knows that. She knows that she's been playing really hot and cold with him. But if you feel some sort of way, you should say it at your big age. Like, I just feel like I could accept a lot of things that happens on this show from characters who are like 25. At this point, these characters are like, what, halfway to 40, and they're still acting like this. I'm like, tell the dude that you like him, and not through text. Not through text at your big age. Why are you texting this man and saying, oh, I'm sorry, I was acting like that at the event. I really like you. You made that man catch an Uber. How you really like him and you're treating him like that? And instead of just dealing with that, taking your big behind over to his home and talking to him or meeting him somewhere and having a conversation, you text him and then you cuss out your friend and make her feel bad for finally doing good in her life. I don't think that Molly is a Tiffany. I think that Molly is a self-sabotager, and I feel like Issa needs to cut her friendship with Tiffany, even if it'll be really complicated. She's not a good friend. I think she needs to cool off on Molly because Molly is just not in a good place. She is not in a good place. Because I honestly feel like when she made those comments about Issa, like, oh, you're not upset about homegirl and Lawrence. You really need to get your life together. She's talking about herself, guys. She's a self-sabotager. She's putting her issues on Issa. Like, she's cussing herself out when she's cussing out Issa, but she's not communicating that. Like, she's not saying that she has all these problems and issues. She's making other people the problem and issue instead of dealing with what she has. So she's just now attacking people that are very close to her. And who's very close to her? Issa is very close to her. And unfortunately, Issa is going to have to step away because Molly's probably going to do more damage to her than she would if they were not so close. You know what I mean? When you're that close to somebody who was going through, you get the worst of it. And I don't think that Issa is out of, dealing with all of her issues to start taking that kind of beat down from a really good friend. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because this is where this friendship is going to go. This show is real. This show is very realistic. So I think that we're probably not going to get these two becoming friends again. Probably maybe at the last episode of the, when we get to the series finale, probably we'll get that. But I just think that it's going to get really ugly before it ever gets good again with Issa and Molly. And baby, I'm here for it. It's going to be good TV. It's going to be a lot of emotions, you know? And that's really good TV. If you watch this show and it's hitting you in different parts of like your life, they did their job. That's what it's supposed to do. It's entertaining, it's educational, it's fun, and I love seeing Black people on TV. That's what I thought about this episode. What did you guys think? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for the following episode of Insecure. I'm so glad it's back. I'm so glad it's back. Yay. And I also have some friends that are going to be on this season, so I'll shout them out when their episode premieres. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yes. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.